was normal. Naturally, people are eager to come out on Saturday and vote, and people are still very enthusiastically endorsing the governor and giving him assurances of their support. So, as far as we are concerned, the table is okay. It's nothing outside what we see on the run of an election like this. His chances are very, very bright. If you use the people, the public, public, who are supposed to cast votes in this election, there is hardly any segment of the public that are not exhausting, from workers, civil servants, to students, to yet today it was even Okada or Inaga drivers, to local government workers, to the clergy, to everybody, practically everybody come out to endorse him. So I think his chances are quite bright, very, very bright. In terms of achievements, I'm sure that I must tell you that truly, if I begin to read it out, we might spend 1 week here, and I will not finish. But I can just summarize as fast as possible as I can. And this administration has really excelled in terms of road infrastructure. We have it on record that we have very well-paved signature roads, like the Ondo-Owerri road, which is has been very, very bad for over 20 years. The government didn't only do it, but visualize it on Kibo-Owerri road. The same thing, and Owerri-Umuahia road is getting the same treatment. Before now, the roads in the Owerri metropolis were terribly bad. Almost all the roads were not terrible. But today, if you ask anybody in Owerri, they will tell you that at least a very good number of roads have been fixed. We have the MCC Toronto road, we have the Leaf Market road, we have the Skumamon road, and so many, I can't count them. But I can tell you that this government has done at least 100 roads plus within these 3.5 years and more in office. Then in terms of youth empowerment, it's something that is on paper. The government has, through the Skill of Imo project, empowered more than 30,000 youth with digital skills, and the necessary startup kits and capital for them to start their business. The same thing in terms of other skill acquisition programs. More than 30,000 other youths have also been empowered. So youth empowerment is a priority of this government, and the government is doing very, very well in that area. In terms of health, the government just commissioned 3 brand new first-class state-of-the-art general hospitals in the state. We don't have this type anywhere in this state before, and they are well equipped and running efficiently now. The tertiary institution, tertiary education, the Imo State University, before the government came, almost all their courses were accredited. They have all been re-accredited now. The Imo State University Teaching Hospital, which lost accreditation for over 10 years, is back. It's been graduating doctors. This is about, I think, 3 years now. In terms of workers' welfare, the government has paid workers regularly, promptly, as and when even also paid them 30%, 13 months salary, which has never happened in this state before, where workers go to work with free transport provided by the government to and fro. And there are so many things that, like I said, if I begin to enumerate them, there are quite a lot. But the most important thing is that the government has restored the confidence of the people in government through inclusiveness, through stakeholders meetings, through stakeholders outings. The people are involved in the running of the government, and they are happy because they were almost like strangers in their own state and in their own government. Today, people have a say. People say they have the contributions to make on how the government should be run, and I think that is very pleasing to the people. So, by all accounts possible, this governor, this governor, deserves a second tenure by the record of the achievements so far. plans on what, please? Well, if you talk of infrastructure development, I've told you, I just mentioned road infrastructure. And I must also add that when you're talking of infrastructure, you ask anybody, they will tell you that most of the moribund industries that were abandoned have been reactivated. And the governor has a program that will really revolutionize the total infrastructure base and the economy of the state. And that is through the rash dredging, which is a very novel project, which will really harness the economic potentials of the state through the dredging of the rash to the Atlantic Ocean, and with the potentials and high possibility of a river port in Uguta. Now, that will really set a record in terms of infrastructural provision, because that dredging has a lot of potentials of having a lot of industries that will be set along that side, because the thing also has a free gas zone that a lot of companies that deal on natural gas and so on will invest and have their companies there. So by the time this governor has a second tenure, I can tell you that when you come to Imo State after 2 years, you will really know that he has done something that no other person has been able to do before him. So how confident am I about what? Well, I've already told you, if you are talking about the Labour Party and the PDP, my dear sister, if you come to Imo State, if you ask anybody, they will tell you that many people are not even aware that these people are contesting the election. These other parties they are talking about. Because it's not a question of making noise on the social media. If it were possible for you to come and do opinion poll in Imo State now, you find that more than 70% of the electorate will tell you that they will vote APC. There is every reason for them to vote APC, because, like I said, the governor has done something that no government before it has been able to do. And the people who are challenging, who have not been able to, as we speak, they have not been able to come up with any manifesto or any program to suggest that this is what they will do, or this is how they are going to do it. So the people are really wondering if they are really in the race, because they are not telling them that this is our program and this is how we are going to achieve it. So it is only the governor who has come out openly to outline his program for the future, for the next 4 years, and the record of his achievements so far back up that vision for the next 4 years. So I think the people are not fools. They know that this man is sincere, and above all, and I think this is very important, this is a governor that has never had any form of scandal, financial scandal. Nobody can say that he has eaten Igbo people's one kobo. Nobody can say that he's acquired anybody's estate. And this man has shown transparency. He has shown accountability, to the point that an arm of the United Nations, the World Bank, recognized him and even gave him cash rewards for running a transparent and accountable government through very transparent budgetary regime. So in every aspect of governance, in every aspect of government that you can use to judge performance, judge sincerity, judge dedication to the people, judge determination to make a difference and to make life better for the people, this governor has done and excelled in virtually all of them. No, they cannot. No, there's a very empirical way of measuring these things. Now, if you come to Imo State, You know, when you look at the political environment in a state or in a society, you look at the political gladiators. In Imo State, I can tell you that more than 80% of the political gladiators in Imo State belong to APC. And this is through the accommodative spirit of the governor, who had opened the doors of APC for everybody to come in. And it has this inclusive policy that has allowed virtually every person that is who in Imo State to come and join him in APC. So now when you look at this, you ask yourself, who are the other people in the other party? Because politics is about people. And when virtually all the leaders are in one camp, you don't need anybody to tell you that that is where it is happening. You know, there are these things they say about if you go to a restaurant, if you see two restaurants and you are new in the place and you want to eat, if you see the one where people are rushing in and out, go there because that's where the food is good. But if you see the one that is just clean furniture and nobody is there, then don't go because definitely the food is not. When you come to Imo State, come to APC Secretariat, come and see the kind of support groups that are pouring in and out of government houses does the government. You don't need to be told where the people are, including market women, including road transport workers, everybody. So it's not a matter of claiming, it's a question of what is verifiable. And I can tell you that if you take time to come to Imo State and go around, do a sample opinion of where the people are, you will see definitely that more than 70% of the people, we mentioned APC and Governor Ogusolema. Many of them might not even remember the names of these people they are mentioning as those who contested for governorship on Saturday. And that is a statement of fact. They are putting the government of war. I think that they are putting the government of redemption. I didn't really get that, I'm sorry. Well, you know, like they say, by their fruits you know them. If you watch the governor, in all his campaigns, in all his public outings, he has never used any abusive word on anybody. He has always been very decorous in his campaigns, and he has been very simple. But the person you mentioned, I watched the video. He was short of calling him people to arms, telling they should come and defend themselves, that the police cannot defend them again. And at every moment he's threatening if there's a collection of election at the one level, heaven and earth will fall. Every moment he is threatening fire and brimstone. He's not the person that his language, his body language, and his language actually is full of violence, and that really defines who he is. So you cannot give what you don't have. This governor has shown that he's a peaceful man. So he cannot in any way give violence when it doesn't. It's not in him. The incident we are talking of, from what we found out, the man went there and they told him that the police told him that he didn't tell them that he was coming. That the governor said he was going to be there. That's why they came to provide security. If he had told them, they would also have provided security and would have been able to know how to manage the situation. And moreover, that before that time, some people came and were removing the posters of the government. And the APC members were already there. And the way he was moving now, that it is not unlikely that if it enters there, maybe there could be some violence. And that's what they were trying to avoid. And he started raining fire and brimstone on the people, saying telling the police officer will remove within 48 hours, and so many other things that are unbreathable. I think that if you look very carefully, that is where violence is likely to come from, and not the man who has never, for once, preached violence or spoken in a language that shows that he likes to the line of violence. So, but I know that the security agents are equal to the tax, and on the day of election, they will be able to contain any person who wants to disrupt the elections by way of violence or any other means. It is not possible, because if you also check the record, there's no record that they had gone to any campaign and they were stopped or they were not allowed to move freely. They have been campaigning freely around the state, and I don't know how else the governor can demonstrate that he is a Democrat. He allows them to go and campaign, and they even go and fabricate all manner of lies against him and propaganda and so many things. And he keeps calm. He keeps going about selling his vision to the people and outlining what he has done and what he will do more. But these people go and keep attacking him, trying to fabricate one thing or the other. He has never, not one, has he replied. So he cannot be intimidating them. If he's intimidating them, there would have been evidence that maybe they went on campaign and something happened or this or that. So there is no such evidence. This government is not the type that will intimidate anybody, because the governor believes that this will be settled in the field, and it is going to be determined by the votes of the people. And if you are talking of the votes of the people, he's very confident that he will have their votes. So why will he intimidate anybody when he is sure that even people are behind him? It doesn't make sense. It is only somebody who suspects the feed looming that wants to scatter the polity, that wants to heat up the polity and cause confusion. If they are sure of victory, they will be preaching peace and free and fair elections, which is what the governor has been doing in all his political outfits. And I can tell you to go and cross-check. You'll be satisfied that that is the position. How would I describe the word? Preparations. Well, because I don't work in INEC, I will not speak for them, but from what they have said so far, I believe that they are prepared for the election. They have given us assurances that they are prepared, and the evidence on ground also confirms that they are prepared. I think that because this is also an off-cycle election, I think that INEC has what it takes to conduct a free, fair, and credible election. So I think that they are prepared, and I believe that they are going to do justice to the election on Saturday. Whatever INEC has to do to make the election free and fair, what we are saying is let the election be free and fair, because we know that once the election is free and fair, victory is ours. Whatever method we will use to ensure that the election is free, fair, and credible, we are all for it. We are not going to say this or that. Anything that will help to make the election free, fair, and credible, the governor is for it, and the APC is for it. That the governorship election is crucial. Every election is important. Every election is crucial. I'm also a governorship election. But I don't think that there is something crucial about this outside the normal circumstances surrounding every election. Even the election of a councillor is crucial to the people who are electing the councillor. So every election that people have to decide who will represent them in government is crucial. And this is not an exception. And I believe that it is important to the people, it is important to INEC, it is important to the contestants. So to that extent, it's important and crucial election. Candidates did what? Sign I remember there was a radio phone program, and the governor was asked that question, and he said he was not aware, no, he wasn't informed, and I believe him. However, I went to tell you that this same governor we are talking about, a year or two before that, a year before that particular program, got almost all the bishops, at least very, very important bishops in Imo State together in government house. And they met, and that was at the height of insecurity in the state. And they met, and I agreed to summon or invite, let me not use the word summon, invite all the political gladiators to a meeting in Assumpta, for where these bishops will sit down and find out from them what the problem was and try to broker peace. It will interest you to know that it was only this governor that was present, no other person came. So if there is somebody who has always championed peace, it is this governor, the Silvis Emelumba. So I don't see how you will see an opportunity to further deepen peace or advance the cause of peace in the state, and he will not be there. So I believe him that he was not aware, otherwise he would have been there, because this is what he has been championing even before the election. And if that meeting, if other people had come, maybe there would have been an understanding and an agreement that would have restored peace and confidence among the political gladiators, and we wouldn't have even needed to sign this peace accord just for the purposes of the election. So that would have been a more enduring peace. And the person who championed it was this governor. So he's an apostle of peace. And the fact that he was not there does not mean that he doesn't want peace. No, it's not true. It's because he probably was not well informed about that meeting. My dear, I want to tell you that, first of all, let me also say that the security agencies have assured that they are ready for this election. And they have actually started deploying security operatives to many of the local governments. And I believe that the number of security agencies that will be on hand to supervise this election will be enough to contain any troublemaker. What is important is that anybody who goes to the polls to cast his vote and go home, of course, will be protected by the security agencies. But I believe that if anybody wants to perpetrate violence in any form, the security agencies have what it takes to be able to contain them. So I am very confident that the election will be free and peaceful. I am very confident based on the level of preparedness the security agencies have assured us that they have done for the election. Well, I want to believe that I got the question. You said insecurity remains the major challenge in Imo State. Yeah, if that's the question. I can also tell you that that insecurity has been drastically reduced, brought to the very manageable minimum. And today, anybody who lives in Imo State will tell you that Imo is not as unsafe as it was, say, 2 years ago. You are a journalist, and I am one. I remember that editors had their conference in Imo State twice within 1 year. And we were talking of over 300 people who were hosted by this state for about 3 to 4 days, 2 times in a row in a year. And throughout that period, there was no breach of any form. There was no breach of peace. And I'm using that them as an example because that is where both of us belong, at least the professional career where we belong. Other high-profile organizations have also held conferences in Imo, and nothing happened. So the security situation has definitely been brought down. But beyond that, what is important is that the threat to security that we witnessed 2 years ago, like I said, has come down. So I don't think that anybody should break his or her head over the security situation on election day or something like that. I think that is not going to be an issue at all. deployment of the Commissioner of Police. I hope I got you right. The deployment of the Commissioner of Police. That's a question. There is, as long as the Commissioner of Police is coming from the police command, I can tell you that His Excellency will be ready to work with any Commissioner of Police. There is no Commissioner of Police that we recruited. There is no Commissioner of Police that belongs to Imo State government. As long as the Commissioner of Police coming from the police command, because they are trained to enforce the law. And what we want is for the law to be, for peace to be maintained. So any Commissioner of Police they send to Imo State, I can assure you that the government will be ready to work with that Commissioner of Police. You know, this thing is so fair. I'm not writing, but I didn't get the last one. Okay, thank you very much. Well, the Charter of Equity is a very interesting document. It's a document that talks about the need for all parts of the state to have a sense of equity, to have a sense of belonging in terms of the governorship seat of the state. And the arrangement is that because we have 3 major zones in the state, that the thing should move from one zone or the other. And by the way, that thing originated from the clergy, who now sold it to the Council of Elders in the state, and they prepared a document and then sold it to the governor got into it. And the Charter of Equity is very simple. It says that looking at the governorship race in Imo State and the history, history has shown that if you leave it open for everybody to struggle, it leads to a lot of acrimony, it leads to a lot of tension, it leads to a lot of expenditure, avoidable expenditure. And at the end of the day, it is a matter of the strongest gets it, and winner takes all or something like that. So it becomes like survival of the fittest. And if this continues, it will not help the quality, it will not help the peace of the state. So the elders said, okay, let us now agree on a charter that says the thing will move from one zone to the other. And they said, looking at the achievements of the incumbent governor, and knowing that he is constitutionally entitled to a second term, but more importantly, looking at his achievements, that they will support him to go for a second tenure. After which the thing will move from one zone where he comes from to another zone, and then that zone, when they complete 8 years, it will move to another zone. So the general consensus is let the governor complete his second tenure, then he moves to another zone. So what it means is that the moment he completes his second tenure, automatically Olu zone will know that they cannot have the governorship again. So in the next election, 2027, the race will be between the other zones that are not from Olu zone. So that is the beauty of Charter of Equity. It is an arrangement that guarantees peace, that guarantees equity, that guarantees justice to all the zones. And that is an arrangement that ensures that all the zones will have the opportunity to produce the governor of the state. I think the people are happy with it. The people believe that it is a reasonable charter, it is a reasonable policy and a reasonable program, and they are buying into it, generally speaking. Thank you so much for having me. All I will say still is that let the people come out on Saturday and vote for the performance.